here. Merry Christmas. You do. Don't most of us at least have that Christmas spirit here on this Sunday morning, Christmas Eve, as we talk about our breaking box office numbers? And the number one story is obviously Aquaman 2. This is a film that sank hard. I mean, this thing's at the bottom of the ocean. This is so much less than the first. Remember, the first one debuted with $68 million back in 2018, 5 years ago. What a difference 5 years makes. When CBMs were still interesting and urgent and compelling to the majority of the population, you get a massive debut like this. Look at the long Christmas weekend, 100 million. This film is barely, if it's lucky, going to get to 40 million for the Christmas weekend. So this is, as I said on Thursday night here on MMT, the end of the CBM era. How isn't it? Yes, Deadpool. Yes, Spider-Man. Those things will be fine. But everything else is RIP. Look at this. Here we go. This is a $40 million 4-day weekend. Very important to note that Warner Brothers in the press fact sheet here highlights that versus the $28.1 million 3-day weekend. That is only a tiny bit above Blue Beetle. It's way under the Marvels, and it's less than half of what the first Aquaman did. Yes, it's less than The Flash. Again, we knew this was coming because James Gunn said Aquaman's not part of what we're doing going forward in the DCU, and people said, no, thank you. But it's not just that, right? Even if Aquaman was still going to be in the DCU going forward, this film was still dead because people just don't care anymore about comic book movies, including myself. After watching this, I said, I don't want to see another one. I really don't. Not another CGI orgiastic film. I don't want to see it. Doesn't interest me. Cinema scores B. That's bad, right? That is not good for this film going forward. Now, the only thing that is beneficial for this film as we go over the next 2 weeks in particular, you know it, Christmas Corridor. Why is that hugely essential to discuss? Because we have so many people off for the next 2 weeks. They're on vacation. They have a lot of time to go to the movies, so this film will benefit from that. So kudos to Warner Brothers for at least finding a spot to dump this and get as much cash as possible from it. But again, this debut is so odious, right? Let's go over some of the details domestic before we go to worldwide, because it did do better, certainly in China. Overall premium formats, the PLF, 48% of the business, IMAX, Dolby, all those things. Top 10 locations for Aquaman 2 or Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, AMC Empire, New York City. Disney Springs, Orlando, AMC Lincoln Square, make that New York City. Estrella Falls in Phoenix, that's Harkins. And AMC Burbank, my home theater at number 5. Regal, Dania Point, Miami, number 6, 7. South Lake, AMC Pavilion, that is in Atlanta. Cinemark, Egyptian, Baltimore. 9 is Regal Irvine Spectrum down in Orange County here in the LA area. AMC Veterans Expressway, Tampa, number 10. So let's go to the worldwide numbers and discuss what we see here. Very important that this has China involved. Why? Because it made $30.4 million there alone. So that's, I believe, the 4-day. So just a little bit under the U.S.'s $40 million. Again, that's an estimate for tomorrow. I don't think it even gets to 40, maybe 38, maybe even 37. This film is not going to kill it, even with the Christmas Corridor. It's the best case scenario for the film, but the film's dead, no matter what. Okay, behind China, Mexico, 5 million, Indonesia, 3.6, France, 3.2, UK at $3 million. So worldwide total debut, 4-day of $120 million. The film, the CBM universe, kiss it goodbye. It's over unless you're Deadpool or Spider-Man. Maybe Superman. I don't even know about Superman anymore. Honestly, I really don't. I'll discuss that more coming up probably tomorrow night. Not doing a stream tonight. It's Christmas Eve. Come on, guys. We got to spend time with family, right? So tomorrow night we'll do our best top 10 films of the year and all the fun stuff tomorrow on Christmas night. Also, we have Wonka in with 17.7 million in the second weekend. That as a whole, it's about minus 50+%. But remember, like all these films, Christmas Eve is one of the slowest nights for movie theaters. So your typical Sunday is much less than it normally would be, but that Monday is Christmas, which means you get the surge of everyone who open presents in the morning and looking for something to do because very little things are open on Christmas except for movie theaters. So you'll see a bigger number for Color Purple opens tomorrow. You'll see the Iron Claw, we'll discuss in a moment, do much better tomorrow. Also, even Aquaman will get business. Obviously, Wonka's going to do well, Family Offering, and Migration, which opened up with 12.3 million. And all these numbers, with the exception of Aquaman, because that's just dead, is you got to remember that we have this long window here, this 2-week window that we've seen so many films over the years open up with a slower first weekend and then start to crush the cash, as it were, as the weeks progress over the next 2 weeks. Again, everyone off, Christmas quarter, blah, blah, blah. So as such, Migration will be a big winner for Illumination. Just watch. It'll end up doing an insane multiple because it's only in theaters. You don't get it on streaming. That benefits, and this film will take flight big time over the next 2 weeks. Anyone But You, $6.2 million debut. Not great, but again, positioned perfectly with the Christmas corridor, and one of the films that I really disliked. If you missed the stream from Thursday, go back and watch it. I have had a bad run of films. The only film right now that I recommend in the Christmas quarter, if you're asking me, where do you go to see a good film right now? You buy a ticket for The Iron Claw. That is one of my favorite films of the year. It'll be on my top 10 tomorrow night here on Christmas on MMT. This is a film that will perform well again with that Christmas corridor. 5 million debut. It should be up to 7.5 tomorrow, and then every day it's slowly going to bank just a little bit. You watch. End of the next 2 weeks, you're going to be looking at a number that's really impressive. All right, let's do the top 10 box office as we look at everything that I didn't discuss already. I also want to mention this. When we do these streams, these breaking box office streams, bottom of the screen, I highlight pretty much everything. If I don't get to it, it's going to be there on that scroll. Everything that I think is important to note about the box office weekend. I'm telling you, after we've been doing this now for a number of months, nobody does it better. Not Movie Math, none of these people. No one can touch it. That's the magic of MMT. We crush them all. Number one, Aquaman 2 with 28.1 million. Oh, God. Only thing you can spin positive is it performed better than Blue Beetle. That's the only positive thing. So if you want to twist it, because that's what we do now, right? You take something terrible and you find one thing that we can attach positive to it. It did better than Blue Beetle. Wonka, number 2, it already has 75 million, will be up over 80 million tomorrow. Migration, 12.3 in third. Look for that to perform very well over the next 2 Christmas corridor weeks. Anyone But You, number 4, with 6.2 million. Solar, film I'm hearing a lot of people say, go see it. I probably will go see it. The only thing that gives me hesitation and pause about some of these films, 3 hours long. That is always going to be a consideration. You know, tonight I might go see a movie. It'll probably be Migration. It's like 85 minutes long. You can't lose. I just want to watch something short and sweet and get out, get home. Iron Claw at number 6 with 5 million debut. I have a lot of faith that that film is going to pull forward big time over the next 2 weeks and perform very well. It got an A- cinema score. That's the best in A24 history. Now, there's a little bit discussed on that really quickly. A24 has not always had cinema scores on their films because they open under 1,500 screens, and that means cinema score doesn't really even bother. So it is the highest scoring, but something like Lady Bird, or you look at Everything Everywhere, might have at least tied, if not bettered that, but still A- is very solid for that film. It's a very tragic film, obviously, with the Von Erick deaths. Virtually everyone in the film dies, but yet it manages to be uplifting at the end, and that's a testament to Sean Durkin's direction and the story writing, screenwriting on that for sure. We've got Boy and the Heron. It's seventh. That is now at $50.5 million. Hunger Games, over $150 million. We're getting another one, even though I don't want to see one. No, don't make me do it. Godzilla minus one, $40 million now. In ninth place, and Donkey, $3.5 million. I want to mention this Poor Things expanded with only $2.1 million from 800 screens. Contrast that with Solar, same number of screens at 5.5. What did I tell you guys about Poor Things? I told you this film was going to suffer when it got to the mainstream moviegoers, and that's what's going to happen. They're not going to like the film, and that's being kind. They're going to hate it, and as such, that film's going down. It's not going to get anywhere near The Favorite. The Favorite at 34+ million stateside. That is never going to be touched by this film. I said it when I saw it. I'm right again. Give me a like, everybody, here on this Christmas Eve. As the stream is all but over here, if you commented, I appreciate you being here. I want to mention this tomorrow night. We do have MMT, the best of 2023 Christmas night. Our tradition continues. I will see you then live from LA. Have a wonderful Christmas. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow.